What's up everybody, it is your boy ptpatocampo and thank you for tuning into my second video on this Instagram page. This topic is going to be how the process was getting into physical therapy school. So via your discretion, this is my personal experience of how I got into PT school. So I'm in no way saying that my way is the only way, but the beauty of applying to any graduate program is that everyone's experience is unique, and my purpose is just to share what worked for me and great tips that help me present the most competitive application I could. So there will be a full detailed video posted to my new YouTube page for those interested, as this video will just focus on specific highlights. So to continue on, just a little background about myself. I graduated from San Francisco State in 2018 with my bachelor's in kinesiology with an emphasis in movement science. But my road to getting my degree was very unorthodox. After high school, I got accepted into Cal Poly Pomona in 2011 as an undeclared major. I dropped out after my first year, but then I attended East Los Angeles Community College for 4 years. And a quick shout out to my Uncle Dennis, who gave me the opportunity, and I am extremely grateful to be given the opportunity, as I would not have been here today if it wasn't for that. And even though it was an hour, 15-minute drive to and from Chino Hills to ELAC, it was definitely worth it, so I'm all about the community college route. When I transferred to SF State in 2016, I fully committed to working towards applying to physical therapy school. After graduating in 2018, I attended 5 community colleges in the Bay Area, so Skyline, College of San Mateo, Cañada, Chabot, and Las Positas. In that 1 year post-bachelor's, I retook major core classes like anatomy, physiology, chemistry, physics, and also classes to fulfill requirements for specific PT programs. In that span, I actually retook chemistry and physics twice, which was definitely rough, but in addition to retaking those classes, I also was studying for the greatest test ever, which is the GRE. That's sarcasm. So my experience in studying for the GRE were not very pleasant, as I took the test 4 times in the span of 4 months. So then after applying to 17 programs literally all around the country in the spring of 2020, I got accepted to one of my top programs at Western U here in Southern California, where I call my home. So and as I reflect on the application process, I can honestly say I learned so much about myself during this really challenging yet fun time in my life. So some would say that your first year in PT school is the weed out process, but I personally disagree. Based on my experiences, the application process is the true weed out process. Students like you and I are tested on how bad you want this goal of getting into a program, and we really have to trust in your personal and reasonable timeline. And I really want to reiterate that phrase because I think it's really important. As I wrote out my blueprint for my first year post-bachelor's, I had to be really honest with myself and ask myself if this timeline was attainable. Sometimes we write out this perfect plan with absolutely no margin of error, which puts a lot of pressure on ourselves, which can be really draining and stressful if things don't go exactly the way it's supposed to plan out. So my piece of advice during the application process is to give yourself a realistic goal with some margin of error. There's no point in retaking classes if you're struggling in all of them, which can eventually hurt your GPA. But again, everyone's story is different. This was kind of just my mindset going in when I was applying. Another advice that I feel like was really key to having a competitive application was to really beef up my extracurriculars. Yeah, GPA and test scores are super important, but I believe programs really want to see like a holistic view and see how well-rounded you are as an applicant. In my time living in the Bay Area, I made it a priority to be exposed to as many settings as possible. For example, volunteering and working in both inpatient, outpatient settings, volunteering in food banks, and also Special Olympics, among others, which really opened my eyes to being involved with my community, and which allowed me to appreciate the power of helping others, which solidified my goal of becoming a future clinician. So I know there was a point I only wanted to volunteer to really beef up my resume, but that completely changed when those experiences really opened my eyes and helped me find a greater purpose in my life, which was, like I said, to be involved in the community and to share and listen to other people's stories. Those memories you can't put on paper, they only shape you to be the best person you can eventually be when it's said and done. So those experiences, it really helped me personally during the essay portion and supplemental questions in the application process. Because of the wide variety of environments I was exposed to, I had so much to talk about based on actual firsthand experiences, and firsthand experiences is something you can't make up. In relation to this, I want to make a quick shout out to Carmela and Nika Carrillo, and most importantly, Jan and Aries Zamora, who really helped me throughout the whole application process, but most specifically the essay portion. In a nutshell, they navigated my essays to not sound just like any other essays, but really tailored my experiences in my life perfectly onto paper, which showcase my journey, not trying to like copy anyone else's. So special shout out to them. Another advice that was super clutch during my time applying was to be strategic when picking programs to apply to. Yeah, I get applying to multiple schools increases your chances, but think about this, applying to the right schools also increase your chances. For example, you want to know who you are as an applicant. For me personally, if you didn't know, I like to talk, and I actually don't mind interviewing and interacting with people and sharing my stories and experiences. So for me personally, I focus on applying to programs who conducted interviews rather than programs who did not. I felt that my numbers were strong, but if I was given an interview, I felt like I had the best chance to represent myself in person rather than just what they read on paper. And lastly, believe in yourself, and don't forget to give yourself credit where credit is due. You know, applying to any graduate program is not easy. If it was easy, like they always say, then everyone would get in and everyone would be in a graduate program and blah, blah, blah. But be confident in your successes and your accomplishments, but don't be ashamed to share your failures. Those stories, I know they want to hear. The right program will look past those weak parts of your applications if it's balanced out with strengths. Again, take my advice with a grain of salt. This was kind of what my path was getting into physical therapy school. It was super unorthodox, but I just want to shed some light that it doesn't mean you have to compare your path to anyone else. You know, what works for you works for you. Just be completely honest, embrace the application process. It's a beautiful thing when all things are said and done. Be honest, there's gonna be that program, there's gonna be one program that accepts you, and that's all that's gonna matter. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave a comment or direct message me. Again, there's gonna be a full-length YouTube video of this on my new YouTube page. But thank you guys for tuning in again. It means a lot for you guys to just listen to me. I just got the news that Russell Westbrook is going to Lakers, and also, you know, Scherzer and Trey Turner are going to the Dodgers. So this is a pretty darn good day. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.